Christmas in someone's house! And if you haven't heard, we now have a Patreon page where you can donate to the channel. There's a tier where you can actually make requests, but we made it expensive because we hate requests. Fucking hate them. That said, I want to send a special shout out to Irving Jimenez Bejito for being the very first patron to reach the request tier. Yay! Fucking yay. So what did Irvin request we review? Well, you saw the title card. Oh, I'm so excited! Come on, we gotta watch our stories! Hey, is this one of those talkie films I've been hearing about? Yeah. We're doing the second Godzilla anime, City on the Edge of Battle. The sequel picks up right after the end of the first film, Planet of the Monsters. There's no recap or anything, so make sure you watch Planet of the Monsters before you dive into this one. As a quick refresher, we are 20,000 years in the future, Earth has been completely taken over by Godzilla, and I mean that kind of literally. The plants, the wildlife, much of the ecosystem has actually evolved to accommodate Godzilla. We have our team of humans that have spent their lives traveling in space looking for a new home, only to return and try to reclaim Earth. They're joined by two races of alien allies, the Exif and the Bilu Solido. Sounds Spanish. Hope I'm saying that right. Hey, what is this hogwash? I thought we were gonna watch the 1987 comedy Summer School. What? No! Don't you want to watch a movie you're actually in? When City on the Edge of Battle was first announced, there was word that Mechagodzilla would be involved. G-fans got really excited to see an anime Mechagodzilla, but we got this. Don't get me wrong, I think this is a pretty cool design for a new mecha, but this is no Mechagodzilla. This is more like Mecha Star-Nosed Mole or something. Anyway, the point is moot because it was all a lie! Mechagodzilla isn't in this movie! Well, fine, he kind of is. You see, back in the day before humans fled Earth, they built Mecha Flathead here using nanotechnology. Over the last 20,000 years, that technology has self-replicated and expanded into an entire city of nanometal. Mechagodzilla City. Look, it's a cool concept. I actually like it a lot. It would have been nice to see the actual Mechagodzilla fight Godzilla, but we're going a different route. That's okay. Bah! Stop bang at me. Well, fine. Let's watch the darn tootin' movie already. But don't be annoyed if I have to take a few bathroom breaks. A few my ass. Anyway, honestly, I don't have a lot to say about this movie. A lot of the strengths from the first chapter hold up here. There are still a lot of original and cool ideas at play. The score is still solid. I still like this animation style a lot, although I know it's not for everyone. The main protagonist, Harrow, has evolved a little from the first film. He's not screaming and having temper tantrums this whole movie, but instead, acting a little more like a leader, making some hard decisions. We went from having a somewhat annoying character to having kind of a generic one, I'll be honest. I guess that's an improvement. But where the film really shines is with the theme. This series is becoming less about Godzilla and more about Harrow's obsession to kill Godzilla. There's a strong parallel to Captain Ahab and Moby Dick, right down to the heroes using a harpoon weapon at one point. I would have liked if the film really honed in on this theme. I mean, really explored this. We still don't fully understand why Harrow wants to kill Godzilla more than anyone else. What does Godzilla represent to him? Maybe we'd find out if the movie didn't spend so much of its running time on more world building. And that's the film's biggest flaw to me. The pacing is all over the map. The movie starts kind of interesting, but quickly descends into a 1-hour exposition dump. Yeah, and it becomes very heavy with the chit-chat. Whoa, what's wrong with chit-chat? I myself was granted the gift of gab. In my day, if you wanted to talk to someone else, we didn't have the intranets and the little pocket computer phone doodahs. We had to walk 25,000 miles, and even then, you might arrive to find your friend died of old age waiting for you. End of story! Look, I have no problem with dialogue-heavy films, but that dialogue needs to be useful in an intelligent and revealing way. And what is said is just as important as what's not said. Well, in this film, everyone just says everything. Look, I'm glad we got more time to spend with these characters after the first film, but a lot of what they're saying is very obvious, redundant, or just fluff. Plus, these conversations happened during a long stretch of inaction. Guys, I'll be honest, I caught myself dozing off a few times to this thing. What? Dude, wake up! Whoa! What? Oh, I wasn't sleeping. Sometimes I just clinically die for a few minutes. What? As part of that exposition, the movie dangles more Godzilla lore in our faces without the payoff. We meet a tribe of humans who have been surviving on Earth, including these twins, who evoke the Shobijin. There's a reference to an egg left behind, which could very well mean we'll get Mothra in the next film. Then again, we thought we'd get Mechagodzilla in this film. Maybe we'll get some kind of weird Mothra not Mothra thingy. Once we get to the third act, things dramatically improve. The humans fly these vulture suits, which are badass. We finally get some interesting drama between the humans and the two alien groups. And the theme I spoke of earlier comes to a great moral dilemma. Should Harrow defeat Godzilla if it means surrendering his humanity? He's forced to make an interesting decision, and the consequences of that choice are enormous. I won't venture into spoiler territory, suffice to say that there will be a part 3 to this series to conclude the story, and at that point, we'll be able to get a more big picture look at this anime story and truly evaluate the strength of the hero's journey and other story aspects. Plus, we'll get Ghidorah next time, hooray. In the meantime, 2.5 stars! Alrighty, Patreon request fulfilled, I'm gonna go home. Hold on there one moment. Young fella, I ever told you about the time I met David Bowie in a funeral parlor. In a funeral? Wait, was it at his funeral? It still counts. I was walking home from my dead friend's house one day. I remember the story well. Yeah, I'm just gonna ghost on out of here. I remember it was a Tuesday because I picked up my sock garters at the local market. Oh, back then you can get a baker's dozen for only 55 speckles. So I says to the saleswoman, I says, if I pay you an extra speckle, will you throw in a free pair of dungy-doos? Well, she declined on the dungy-doos. A week later, I made that woman my wife. And that's why I've never seen Police Academy 2 in its entirety. As Orga said, this review was a request from Irving Jimenez Bejito. I'd like to thank him along with these fine patrons here for helping to support the channel so we can all enjoy it a little more. If you'd like to see your name on this list, and you're in the position to donate, please visit the Monster Island Buddies Patreon page.